He's the area manager for AEQ. He's Mr. Antonio Perez. AEQ have been providing the broadcast and a lot to the radio industry for over 43 years. And for the last 20 years of that, Antonio has been working as a sales engineer with top clients, BBC, IRIB, RRI. So a lot of experience here. And again, in this theme of remote productions, which gets clumped in with cloud. They can be separate, they can be the same. So without further ado, Mr. Perez, I'm honored to welcome you to your presentation to the ABU, and have a lovely presentation. Thank you. Please, if you could check your microphone isn't on mute. You might want to check, there's a little icon there.
Yeah, sorry.
There you
yes,
are. Now we can hear you. Very good. All yours. Thank you.
Fantan. It's one of these things we just do ourselves to take care that things are not sounding before time. Thank you very much. So, good morning from Spain. Good afternoon to all of you. Here we are, 7 a.m., 7:30 in Spain. So let's try to make it useful and short within this scenario of ABU presentations. Thank you to ABU, first of all. And okay, now, so link it to the architecture that Shad was talking about from AWS and the new world of technology. And there is, let's have a look at the only free area left by the Amazon W World Services, which was in the diagram that they were showing. Let's have a look at the small pieces in which they were not involved, in which they were not entering, like in the cameras and in the stadium production and in all that. So in that sense, AEQ is the products manufacturer, is the last mile manufacturer, is the piece of equipment that is the company who is going to provide you the piece of equipment which is going to be in front of the operator the most of the times. So our devices has to be will be the unit that the operator, the end user, will see the most of the times. So just to highlight a little bit, I want to explain you a little bit what AEQ has been doing for the last 43 years. We are a European manufacturer of equipment in which we have been working for 43 years with thousands of clients around the world. And of course, we have migrated all our technology from analog world into digital, and now we are moving into IP base. So we want to show you a little bit about what are the latest facilities, devices, units, equipment for the remote operations to make your life easier and to help you to stay productive during the quarantine. So AEQ has been involved in the Olympics since 1992 in Barcelona, and this world has been always the world of the Olympics has been a signature in which it has been migrated into digital, into IP, and little by little we go following this wave and moving ahead with their demands. So what is the remote production and what is this for? Well, is to create audiovisual content, as our colleagues have said, in a more cost-efficient way, avoiding the cost, making it easier, more effective, and so on. So what can we do? How can we move forward from the hardware side point of view? Let's say that we suggest to our users take progressive steps, like starts broadcasting an event without technicians, comment an event on off-tube booth, announcers from home, control studio equipment from home, monitor broadcast. Well, all these features that our colleagues has been mentioning in the workflow or the migration into IP, and evaluate under what conditions all this can be consolidated. So let's go step by step. This is the point of view of let's say a conservative hardware equipment, broadcast equipment manufacturer. So at the end, where to operate, where to take the audio and to deliver the audio to produce? Well, from anywhere. The idea is that you are able to transport the audio and the control, of course, from anywhere to anywhere. You have to use low binary rate as such as much as possible. So basically, on AEQ, which is working on audio, is something that we take care of that. So we are nothing compared to video, but we need also our gap. Current IP networks are the perfect vehicle to work on this new field, new technology, these ways of working, because it's not producing the bottlenecks that technology were given 15, 20 years ago, when everything was on ISDN, everything was on digital lines, and they were expensive to deploy, they were expensive to use. Now we are on IP, which is far cheaper, far more deployed, far expanded everywhere. So you can choose the best place for the operators and for the operators in general, users, producers, end users, talents, controllers. So then we fly to the generalization of the concept to produce in the cloud, a place which is other than where the operators and the signals are, which is like today, we are in the cloud. Let's say we are here, I am here, I have my laptop, Fintan, Shad, they are everywhere, we are all together, and we are renting the capacity from ABU and working all together here. So coming down to the last mile, the last piece of equipment, AQ can help you with some units and some devices. Typically, from the audio part, we can focus on audio codecs, audio IP audio codecs, which are nowadays. We can bring the audio from your talent home, from your talent in the stadiums, from the talents anywhere, into the studios where you have the broadcast mixing consoles. The broadcast mixing console is something that we are also virtualizing more and more, but it's like the keyboard in the PC. Could you virtualize your keyboard? Yes, but so at the end, the console has to still have some faders and something the operator can touch in a bigger or smaller scale. Commentary systems, which is the principle of the audio codec, but coming to a vast scale, big scale, like in the Olympic Games or in the sport venues. And intercom systems, which is also joining the path of the virtualization and the remote production. Several studios share the control and share the utilization of the devices. Coming down to having a quick view to the small pieces and parts of components of this audio chain, basically audio chain that we start and we produce for this the rest of the team, the rest of Amazon and the rest of the cloud to be drinking from us the flow of the broadcast. Audio codecs like these ones, which can allow you to broadcast like this, a small scenario like this, where you have your talents at home, like in the pandemic, and then your talents that were on the, you have one talent at home, another talent at home, all together that goes into another IP codec that finally it flies into the console on your radio studio. So these are the two areas in which people are still being necessary, and equipment for these people has to be provided. So here is AQ, which is going to give you the IP codecs, like this Phoenix Alio, which is an example of a small portable audio codec that we were having in the when all this unfortunate COVID time and the pandemic started. We ran out of Alios, we ran out of these Phoenix Alio units, and the market was demanding hundreds of units that we have to serve on constant basis, on a very, very quick basis, because the broadcasters, they need to suddenly migrate all their needs into the talents' homes, and they were looking for equipment. And we have to work in the last minute and to bring home with you a new piece of equipment, which is the small talent. Okay, the small talent allows you, which is the smaller one, is the one that allows you to work from home, to bring audio quality to the studios, send your microphone to the studios with return to your headphones, the same as we do today here. So you have flexible audio connectivity, remote controls, and additional users and functionalities. So we were to and from any place, like in sports broadcasting, on-site commentary, phone and app interviews, sporadic contributions like journalists who enter into radio from home to home from time to time, or in television, and they want to do it with broadcast quality, simultaneously remote translations, and many more. So at the end, we are making more and more equipment more easier to use, smaller, because we need to give it flexibility and full comprehensive connectivity to our users. So we give them like all these figures in professional equipment, because at the end we are working in professional equipment, and we can give you a quality that you can use even for singing from home. If you want to, you can sing in our units. Thanks to the improvements in the technology and in the hardware, the quality of the transmission has grown so much that allows you to do things that you couldn't believe in the old days. I mean, things that you could do from home, that is giving you new possibilities. And you can power these units in multiple ways, with AC adapters, with from car adapters, and even from a USB, power bank. Just to call a few of the features in these small boxes. It's a small piece of equipment, something the size like a mobile phone, with some basic controllers for microphones, for monitoring signals, a few answer keys, hang up keys similar to the mobile phones, your microphone on air, off air, because it's something that you always need to touch, some basic status information, and something important, a help key to warn the station's operators that you are on air and that you need a help. So basically, again, the devices, the control, the transmission, the device can be on site, the device can be on the person, with the person at home or in the stadium or wherever, and the control can be from the studio or from a technician which is also working at home. So we are trying to give you all the facilities to work from home and to provide to distribute the control of the device from several other remote locations. Okay, so we are more information about the routines. The routines also is flexible. They're zooming here, the faders, or let's say the controllers are fully virtualized, controllable from anywhere. We give you also Bluetooth connectivity, so for music, for telephony. Again, we are hanging into the clouds, and we are getting more and more information from clouds, and we want to put all that together into our hardware device to be mixed all together and to send it over. Features like, mixing features, lots of features that we provide you that we can talk about. We can talk more in detail in future presentations. And we have the possibility to implement all these virtualized systems, Skype, WhatsApp, Zoom, whatever, into our phone calls. On the other end, on the studio, again, we receive in another devices, which are hardware devices, which at the end are converting again back into audio, and you can again virtualize all this or you can virtualize all the controllers, which they end up in the mixing consoles that they have also again virtualized controllers that we can see, like here is a typical application, like in the AEQ Atrium, which is our latest model, the big size, the big console that we are marketing nowadays, that can be fully controllable by IP. So you can have the controllers at home, the talents at home, the controllers also at their homes controlling the consoles, and this is going on little by little. The hardware is getting more and more virtual. Commentary units like our Olympia 3, which is in use in many sport events, which also can be again virtualized and can be controllable by more and more remote operations. And finally, also we can speak about our latest development, which is also we have been working in AEQ, have been working with our brand Chroma for the last also over 20 years in intercom systems. And our intercom systems, little by little, they have been migrating into the cloud. Again, the concept of cloud. So the intercom system, they are now, in the old days, they used to rely 100% of a central point and matrix, in which all the communications, all the devices were centralized, and it was running a distribution of audio. Now this system is migrating more and more into virtualized, into Matrixless Systems, which is basically a cloud system where you have your all your communications, and you have all the devices, which can be, again, the front end panels and the user bell packs. They still being the same, because we are human, and humans, we cannot be virtualized. So the humans, we need devices to operate. And but the thing is that we don't need a matrix anymore, and we can have a virtual matrix which is in the cloud, which can be interconnecting all the devices, which they are worldwide, anywhere in the world, and that's it. And I think this has been all, Fintan, and it's been a small presentation of what the hardware people can do in this in the small gaps that we are letting, or we are let from all these big monsters in the business, like Amazon and all the rest. So if there is any question for me, I'm available. Otherwise, we'll be waiting for you, and we hope all this matter of the COVID finishes soon, and we can go back to the old days where we can meet each other, and hope to see you in Broadcast Asia soon. Good morning from Europe.
Antonio, good morning as well to you in Spain, and thank you very much. I always find it very interesting, and I always track very carefully the broadcast technology that comes from Spain, Spain and Italy in particular. So having worked in the broadcast industry in Europe before, and what a lot of people in Asia are not aware of is how many small and regional broadcasters there are in Spain, and certainly back when I worked in Europe, there was over 1,000 broadcasters in Spain and over 600 broadcasters in Italy. And these broadcasters, because they were small and regional, they want to do all the production that every broadcaster wants to do, but they have limited budgets because of their size. So what I find is that the manufacturers in Spain and Italy have a very good ability to create really good equipment, and creative equipment in terms of using the latest technology, but also at a very good cost point as well. So I always look very favorably to broadcast equipment in Spain, because typically it's something that has rolled out to large numbers of broadcasters, works very well, and there's a lot of innovation takes place in Spain. So it's very interesting to see what you've done. I think COVID globally has pushed a lot of business into really looking at their remote productions and the equipment they use. And I think after COVID, when we get a return to trade shows again, there's going to be a lot of people turning up at a lot of trade shows to look at all this new equipment and see, because while you can look on the internet and you can do these seminars, sometimes you really actually have to get the equipment in your hand and test it, and actually to get a feel for it as well. So